I've worked as a maid in the Grand Tutor's mansion for 12 years. The young miss once promised that after she got engaged, she would remove my slave status and let me leave the mansion. But on the day the male lead sent the betrothal gifts, she suddenly grabbed my hand. Chun-sing, look at that servant boy who just carried the betrothal gifts. How about I arrange for you to marry him? That way you can keep serving me in the future. In my past life, I turned her down right away. But the young miss started crying on the spot, saying she couldn't get used to life without me by her side. She didn't want to get married and didn't want to be apart from me. The young miss's father and brothers blamed me for making her sad. They dragged me out and beat me to death right then. I didn't find out until after I died that the world I'm in is an ancient-style group favorite novel. Anyone and anything that doesn't please the female lead has to disappear. When I opened my eyes again, I was back to the moment right before the young miss asked me if I wanted to marry that servant boy. Chun-sing, look how handsome and neat that servant boy is. If you marry him, you can keep working as my maid after the wedding, okay? Everyone's eyes were fixed on me. I looked at Lin Baoju's innocent smile and broke out in a cold shiver. At this point in my past life, I was dead set on leaving the mansion to live a free life. So I turned her down very carefully. When Lin Baoju heard I said no, she burst into tears immediately and sobbed, "Father, will I have to separate from Chun-sing once I get married? I don't want to leave Chun-sing. I don't want to get married." As soon as she said that, everyone present's faces dropped. The second young master even slapped me across the face. "The master is honoring you by arranging this marriage. You lowly maid, how dare you trick the young miss into needing you so bad? Guards, drag this reckless little wretch out and beat her to death. Let everyone else see what happens when you disobey your master." I was stunned by this sudden turn of events. I tugged at Lin Baoju's sleeve and cried, "Miss, didn't you promise me after you get married you'd let me leave? Please, put in a good word for me. I hope that considering I've served her for more than 10 years, she would spare my life." But Lin Baoju acted like she didn't hear my plea. She pouted and leaned on her father's shoulder. "Wah, wah, wah. Father, why doesn't Chun-sing want to marry into the family with me? Does she hate me? Did Baoju do something wrong? Wah, wah, wah." Just like that, someone gagged me, dragged me outside the courtyard and beat me to death. The last thing I heard before I died was the first young master comforting the young miss. "Baoju, you're just too kind-hearted. That's why these servants get arrogant and don't know their place. They even dare to negotiate with their masters now." In front of me, Lin Baoju was still waiting for my answer. I thought about the ending from my past life and quickly forced a smile. "It's an honor for this maid to receive a marriage arrangement from the master. Thank you for your great kindness, miss." When she saw I agreed, Lin Baoju nodded in satisfaction. She even kindly gave me a day off, so I could go out and buy dowry items. As for the wedding, Lin Baoju said, "On my wedding day, Chun-sing will enter the groom's mansion with me, and that counts as her getting married." I forced a smile and left the mansion with the 2 taels of silver she gave me as a reward. I walked until I got to an alley where no one passed by. Then I finally dared to cry out loud. I found out after I died in my past life that this world is a group favorite novel. My young Miss Lin Baoju is the female lead. I, a mere maid, am just a tool used to show how much she's doted on by everyone. This is what's written in the book. When the Lin family father and son saw this maid making Baoju sad, they all clenched their fists quietly. Linja was also a military general, with a straightforward personality. He immediately had Chun-sing dragged out and beaten to death with a staff. Worried that Lin Baoju would be sad, they only told her that Chun-sing didn't want to get married and had run away secretly. Just 2 short lines of text. Ended my whole life. After I finished crying, I calmed down and started analyzing my current situation quietly. Lin Baoju is the only young miss of the Lin family. She has 3 older brothers, all of whom dote on her like she's a treasure. The oldest brother, Lin Subai, is as handsome as Panon and as talented as Song Yu. He's the youngest top scholar in the entire Great Qi dynasty. His future is boundless. The second brother, Lin Zhaoye, is extremely skilled in martial arts. He's the bravest warrior in the entire army. He once charged into an army of thousands and cut off the enemy general's head directly. He's known as the jade-faced Yama. Normally, except for his little sister Lin Baozhu, he's never nice to anyone else. The third brother, Lin Xuanking, is the direct disciple of the divine healer's valley. His acupuncture skills are absolutely superb. It's said he can even bring the dying back to life. And as for the father of these siblings, he was the grand tutor of the late emperor. He has countless former students across the court. According to the original plot, Lin Baozhu will marry the second prince Xiao Heng and become the most respected woman in the entire dynasty later. Compared to people like them, a lowly person like me, a mere maid is totally not worth mentioning. But since the heavens gave me a second chance at life, I'm not just gonna take whatever abuse comes my way. Even a mantis will try to stop a chariot. Why wouldn't a human fight for themselves? Night fell. I bought a random hairpin on the street and dragged my tired feet all the way to the Lin Manor, inside the listening snow pavilion. Lin Baozhu was taking off her jewelry with Qiuyu's help. When she saw me come back, she pulled my hand over warmly. Chungsin, marrying Xiaoxi is actually a good deal for you. You've lived like a rich young lady ever since you've been by my side. You have no idea how hard ordinary people have it outside. If I actually let you leave the manor, you'd starve to death in no time. I heard from my brothers that those poor people outside can't even afford to eat. Sometimes they even sell their own kids. I hung my head low and said nothing. Life outside is indeed hard, but is life in this manor any easier? Lin Baozhu is the apple of the entire Lin family's eye. She's very impulsive and carefree, always coming up with random ideas on a whim, and sneaking out of the manor to play. The Lin family can't bear to scold her, so they punish us personal maids instead. Sometimes they hit our palms. Other times they slap us across the face. Last winter, Lin Baozhu deliberately sent me away on an errand, dressed as a man, and went to a brothel. When eldest Master Lin found out, he gave me 20 strokes with a wooden plank and ordered me locked in the firewood shed for 3 whole days. I only survived by drinking melted snow water from the windowsill. The person Lin Baozhu is marrying is the second prince. The royal family has extremely strict rules. If she comes up with another crazy idea and goes somewhere she shouldn't after marriage, I probably won't even get a proper burial when I die. When Lin Baozhu saw I wasn't answering, she pouted. Chungsin, why aren't you saying anything? You're not mad at me, are you? I quickly put on a flattering smile. I would never dare, miss. I was just thinking what kind of hairstyle I should do for you on your wedding day. So I zoned out a little. I was sold to the Lin Manor when I was 3 years old. Before I was assigned to serve Lin Baozhu, I learned how to do hair from an old nanny. After hearing what I said, Lin Baozhu believed me a little. She said proudly, among the betrothal gifts the second prince sent, there's a gilded filigree phoenix crown inlaid with all kinds of gems. It took 12 officials from the Shangfu Bureau 2 whole years to make it. It'll look good with any hairstyle. I went along with her and gushed about how much the second prince values her, then casually mentioned, in the entire Great Qi Kingdom, other than Princess Ning'an's lapis lazuli, kingfisher feather phoenix crown inlaid with pearls. Yours is the most valuable phoenix crown there is, miss. Princess Ning'an is the only daughter of the Rongguo Grand Princess. When the new top scholars paraded through the streets after the exam, she fell in love with the female lead's eldest brother, Lin Zubai, at first sight. They've been married for 3 years now, ever since Princess Ning'an was born. The Grand Princess started preparing her dowry, that kingfisher feather phoenix crown especially. It's not an exaggeration to say it's absolutely masterful. It uses lapis from the western regions, east pearls from the South Sea, and tens of thousands of kingfishers raised just to make this crown. The amount of effort, money, and resources that went into it, only the imperial family could afford. Too bad the production took too long. It wasn't finished until 2 years after the princess got married. Right now, this phoenix crown is locked in Princess Ning'an's private storage, saved as dowry for her future daughter. I watched Lin Baozhu's expression suddenly darken and smirked slightly. The next day, everyone gathered in the main hall for breakfast as usual. Halfway through the meal, Linzhou suddenly asked in confusion, "What's wrong with little sister today? She's eating so little." When Lin Baozhu noticed someone was paying attention to her, Her tears immediately started falling like raindrops. That phoenix crown the second prince sent yesterday is too heavy, and it doesn't even look nice. I don't want to wear it when I get married. When everyone heard that, they found it a little funny and hurried to comfort her. Fine, you don't have to wear it then. What kind of phoenix crown do you like, Baozhu? We'll send someone to buy it. I quietly observed Princess Ning'an's expression. Her face was calm, but a sneer tugged at the corner of her mouth. She clearly despised Lin Baozhu's little act. In the original novel, Princess Ning'an is basically the foil to the female lead. Though she was born into nobility, she still couldn't compare to Lin Baozhu after marrying into the Lin family. The fact that everyone doted on Lin Baozhu all the time had always left a faint resentment in her heart. But out of respect for her father-in-law and husband, she could only pretend to join everyone in spoiling this younger sister-in-law of hers. Lin Baozhu slammed her chopsticks on the table. All you know how to do is fool me. What's so special about a store-bought phoenix crown? It has to be like sister-in-laws. Handmade ones are the best, duh. With that, she looked tearfully at Lin Zubai. Big brother. You and sister-in-law are already married anyway. Can you just give that phoenix crown to me? As soon as she said that, Princess Ning'an's face immediately darkened. Baozhu, that phoenix crown is saved for my daughter's future dowry. Before she could finish speaking, Lin Baozhu cried even harder. I wish I had a mom too. If mom were still alive, she'd definitely prepare tons of dowry for me too. Enough. Seeing his sister crying so miserably, Lin Zubai, and hearing her mention their late mother, felt a little annoyed at Princess Ning'an. An elder sister-in-law is like a mother. It's just a phoenix crown. What's the big deal about giving it to Baozhu? Not to mention we don't even have kids yet. Even if we have a daughter later. Would she really fight her own aunt for things? Princess Ning'an refused to budge on giving up the phoenix crown. The atmosphere between her and Lin Zubai was pretty tense. For 2 whole weeks straight, Lin Zubai slept in the study every night. In the end, it was Princess Ning'an, who couldn't stand her husband's cold shoulder anymore, who caved and apologized first. Lin Baozhu got exactly what she wanted. She hurried to Princess Ning'an's place to get the jewelry. According to the maids in the manor, the princess smashed a lot of teacups after Lin Baozhu left that night. I snuck to Chiwu courtyard after Lin Baozhu fell asleep. Princess Ning'an's face was ice cold. She stared at me coldly. Are you the one who sent the secret message? Saying you can help me get my phoenix crown back? I nodded. Yes, Your Highness, it's me. Princess Ning'an let out a mocking laugh. You're just a lowly servant? What trick do you plan to use to get this princess's property back? Lin Baozhu definitely doesn't seem like the kind of person who'd listen to you. I stepped forward a few steps, wanting to get closer to talk, but was stopped by the maid beside Princess Ning'an. How dare you? Princess Ning'an frowned impatiently. Just answer the question honestly. What are you being all sneaky for? I bowed to her. This is an extremely important matter. Please ask all the servants to leave first, Your Highness. Seeing Princess Ning'an was still hesitating, I pushed the point a little more. Even if you don't care about yourself, Your Highness, you have to think about your future children. With how much the Lord and all the young masters dote on Miss Lin, do you really think that much of the Lin family's resources will be left for your own children? At the mention of children, Princess Ning'an's expression finally changed. She dismissed all the servants and looked at me much more seriously. Now, can you finally talk? I straightened up a little and looked her straight in the eye. Lin Baozhu wants the phoenix crown because she's getting married. But if that wedding gets called off, you won't have to give her the crown anymore, right? Princess Ning'an's eyes flickered. She looked a little tempted for a second, but then she quickly sighed and set down her teacup gently. The marriage between Lin Baozhu and the second prince was approved by both the Lin family and consort Shu. Canceling it won't be easy. Besides, going after Lin Baozhu is way too risky. If my husband finds out, he'll definitely divorce me no matter what. Don't mention this again. You should act like you never came here tonight. Seeing she wanted to back out, I spoke up quickly. Don't worry, Your Highness. What I'm asking you to help with won't anger the eldest young master at all. In fact, If this works out, everyone in the Lin family will thank you for it. Hearing she didn't have to hurt Lin Baozhu, Princess Ning'an got interested right away. She raised an eyebrow and looked at me. What is it? Let's hear it. I lifted my eyes and stared intensely at the woman sitting in the high hall. I'd like to ask you to help me find someone, Your Highness. To avoid being spotted by others, I deliberately took a detour away from the main road and returned to Tingshui Pavilion through the small side gate. I closed the courtyard gate very gently and quietly. I was just about to turn around when I suddenly spotted a shadow appear on the ground. Oh my God, my heart almost jumped out of my chest. I tried my best to stay calm and turned around slowly. Qiu Yu was holding a lantern in the moonlight, staring at me with a completely blank expression. I forced a smile and called out, Qiu Yu? Why are you still awake so late? Did the young miss send you with some order? Qiu Yu was on night watch tonight. She shouldn't have been here under normal circumstances. Qiu Yu's face was as cold as a block of ice in the moonlight. The young miss is hungry. She wants to eat the 3 shred noodles you make. She didn't even ask where I had come back from. I'll go make it right now. I hurried towards the kitchen right away. I had only taken 2 or 3 steps when I heard Qiu Yu's voice come from behind me. Her tone was light and airy, sounding especially hollow in the early spring night. I know what you're planning to do. Tomorrow between 1 and 3 p.m., find a way to bring the young miss to the end of Anju Lane in Dooney Block. You'll find what you want there. I thought about it for a long time the next day, and finally decided to do as Qiu Yu said. If she wanted to hurt me, she could have just reported me for sneaking out last night. There's no need for her to go through so much trouble. A new shop just opened next to Anju Lane, called Fanghua Pavilion. It's a ready-made clothing shop. All the clothes and handkerchiefs there are made with Suzhou double-sided embroidery. There's only one piece of each design. You'll never run into someone wearing the same outfit. I used this as an excuse to coax Lin Baozhu out. I pretended to help her pick out clothes, but was actually secretly watching the door from the corner of my eye. Just as Lin Baozhu finished picking items and asked me to pay, a familiar figure flashed past the alley entrance outside. It was none other than the Lin family's second young master, Lin Zhaoye. I tugged at Lin Baozhu's sleeve and said, Miss, isn't that second young master? What's he doing here? Lin Baozhu glanced at him and was also very curious. She pulled me along and we snuck quietly behind Lin Zhaoye. We watched him enter a courtyard with a small vermilion door. He stayed for roughly an hour before coming out. Once Lin Zhaoye left, she got excited and wanted to go right into the courtyard. Second brother must have prepared a surprise for me here. That's why he's being so secretive. Who is it? She knocked on the door. An old nanny came out from inside the courtyard. When she saw that the visitor was Lin Baozhu, a flash of panic crossed her face, and she quietly winked at the young maid behind her. Lin Baozhu saw her blocking the door and got very upset. Nanny Song, why are you blocking me? Let me in right now. I want to see what gift second brother prepared for me. Song was Lin Zhaoye's wet nurse. She went to live on the family manor for retirement when she got old. For her to appear here right now, something important must be going on. Miss, this courtyard was just purchased. We haven't had time to clean it yet. You'd better not go in, miss. You don't want to get your dress dirty. Nanny Song spoke very humbly, but her hands were tightly gripping the doorframe, not giving even half a step of ground. Lin Baozhu has had a stubborn, willful personality since childhood. The more Nanny Song blocked her, the more she insisted on going in. Song had worked for the Lin family for many years. Of course she knew how much the Lin family doted on this young miss. She didn't dare to physically stop her, so she could only let Lin Baozhu push her way in. This was a very quiet and secluded single-section courtyard. The yard was planted full of pear blossoms, Lin Baozhu's favorite. When she saw this scene, she became even more sure of her guess and walked quickly towards the main house. But the second she opened the door, her expression changed drastically. Inside the room, a young woman who looked to be 7 or 8 months pregnant was sitting in front of the dressing table, ignoring all the maid's pleas for her to leave. When she heard the noise behind her, she finally turned around, revealing a face that was 50% similar to Lin Baozhu's. The smile on Lin Baozhu's face faded little by little. Nanny Song and the others were already kneeling on the ground trembling, not daring to anger her at all. When the young woman saw Lin Baozhu, she stood up and bowed slowly. Lin Baozhu didn't tell her to stand up. Instead, she walked step by step right in front of her. Slap. She slapped her hard across the face. "You slut! How dare you seduce second brother with a face like that? You must be tired of living." The young woman was already pregnant. After being hit like that, she fell heavily onto the ground, clutching her stomach and screaming in pain continuously. Was called back by Nanny Song's men. Lin Zhaoye also rushed over at this moment. The second he saw this scene, his eyes turned red right away, dashed forward and held the woman in his arms. "Wiking, are you okay? What are you all standing there for? Go get a doctor right now." Lin Baozhu saw her second brother was so worried about this woman and shouted sharply, "No one is allowed to go." Lin Zhaoye looked at her unhappily. "Baozhu, what do you mean by that?" Lin Baozhu did not answer, but asked him in return, "Second brother, look at her face. If other people find out about her, do you know what the consequences will be?" Lin Zhaoye turned his head away, not daring to look Lin Baozhu in the eye. "When the doctor arrives later, I'll have him examine her behind the curtain. Besides, she just looks a little similar to you, that's all. Even if others find out, so what?" Lin Baozhu was trembling with anger. "You know how sharp-tongued imperial censors are. Way better than I do, second brother. Right now is the critical period for my marriage to the second prince. If any bad rumors spread, the second prince will definitely be upset. What's more, you and I are not even..." When Lin Baozhu got to this point, she suddenly stopped talking. Her face turned extremely serious. "Second brother, this woman can't stay in the capital. You have to send her away immediately." Lin Zhaoye clenched his fists tightly over and over. In the gaze he cast at the young woman, there was a tenderness and pity that even he had never noticed himself. "No way, Wei King is pregnant with my child now. I can't send her away. If you're worried about it, I'll just make her go out less from now on." The two were still in a deadlock when the little maid beside them suddenly screamed, "Blood, blood, Miss is bleeding so much." Lin Zhaoye looked down at the bright red blood all over the ground, shoved Lin Baozhu aside hard. "Get out of the way, are you all dead? Hurry up and get the doctor." Nanny Song saw that Lin Zhaoye was really furious, so she hurried to run towards the door. Nearly a quarter of an hour passed before the doctor arrived in a rush. After taking the woman's pulse, he sighed and shook his head. "Madam, this pregnancy was already unstable at first, and her abdomen got hit hard just now. I'm afraid we can't save the baby." The woman who had been lying quietly on the bed heard this and cried out in pain instantly. The doctor exclaimed in alarm, "Oh no, Madam is having a massive hemorrhage." Lin Zhaoye looked at the blood that just wouldn't stop flowing, looked around blankly, and then seemed to remember something, kissed the forehead of the woman in his arms. "Imperial physician, Chinger, wait for me. I'll go to the palace to get the imperial physician right now." With that, he stumbled out towards the outside. "Chungsun, stay here and keep an eye on things. I'll go bring second brother back." Lin Baozhu was afraid he would make things worse, gave this order, then gritted her teeth and followed him out. For a moment, only the young woman and I were left in the room, along with the two little maids serving her. Who is she? Why did she ask Shu Yu to bring me here? What on earth is her purpose? Countless questions swirled around in my mind. The young woman seemed to notice my confusion, waved everyone else out of the room, patted the edge of the bed, gesturing for me to sit down. When I got closer, I found her face was already turning blue. She looked like she was on the verge of death. When the woman saw me sit down, she grabbed my hand tightly. Her voice was weak and broken. "Miss, I heard Sister Qiu talk about you. I know you are just like me. We both hate Lin Baozhu to the core. The second prince wants to marry Lin Baozhu. A large part of the reason is for the military power in Lin Zhaoye's hands. As long as there is a rift between Lin Zhaoye and him, her status in the Lin family and in the second prince's heart will drop. I've been with Lin Zhaoye for many years, though I was just a substitute at first. I could tell later he did have some real feelings for me. If I die at Lin Baozhu's hands today..." I listened to her faint, thread-like breath. Couldn't help but comfort her. Second young master has already gone to get the imperial physician. The imperial physicians in the palace have superb medical skills. They will definitely be able to cure you. Yue Qing smiled and shook her head. The moment Lin Baozhu walked in, I had already taken poison. I will use my life and my child's life to become a thorn stuck between him and Lin Zhaoye. Forever? When Lin Zhaoye came back, the maids had already tidied up Yue Qing's remains. A faint flash of secret joy crossed Lin Baozhu's face. Second brother, the dead can't come back to life. It's just the child of a mistress, nothing more. It's better off that she's gone. Even now, Lin Baozhu still thinks that Lin Zhaoye values Yue Qing so much, just because of the baby in her belly, but Lin Zhaoye didn't respond. He just stared blankly at the woman on the bed. Completely motionless, only then did Lin Baozhu realize things were not going as she expected. She panicked and took me with her to leave. On the carriage, she hesitated before asking, "Chungsin, second brother won't blame me for that woman's death, right? I only gave her a tiny push. She's the one who lost her balance." I recalled the last thing Yue Qing said to me, "Miss, my death today is what I asked for. Please don't feel guilty about it." I forced down the hatred in my heart and answered reluctantly, "Of course not. Second master dotes on you the most, miss." Lin Baozhu had made a scene outside today, so she went to bed really early. At night, Qiuyu came to my room quietly with a lantern. I knew he came to explain what happened to Yue Qing, but the first thing he said was something I never expected. He said, "Chungsin, do you still remember the second miss?" Of course I remember her. She was originally the only young miss of the Lin family. But after her cousin Lin Baozhu was adopted, she became the second miss of the mansion. When she was 5 years old, the second miss went to a temple fair and got separated from the Lin family and was never heard from again. But what does Yue Qing have to do with the second miss? When the second miss went missing, Yue Qing was only 3 or 4 years old. Qiuyu nodded. When the second miss went missing, many servants in the mansion were punished. The one who got the harshest punishment was the second miss's wet nurse, Madame Zhao. She got 50 strikes with a wooden bat and was kicked out of the Lin mansion and died just a few days later. Yetar is Madame Zhao's daughter. Before she died, Madame Zhao told her that the second miss didn't get lost by accident. She was taken away by Lin Baozhu's senior maid. All these years, Yue Qing has been trying to get revenge for Madame Zhao. She finally managed to get close to Lin Zhaoye, but Lin Baozhu was about to get married. She was afraid once Lin Baozhu married into the second prince's mansion, she would never get the chance to take revenge. That's why she asked me to pass this message to you. I understood immediately, but I didn't get why Qiuyu would help her. Seeing me staring at him the whole time, Qiuyu explained further. Madame Zhao did me a favor before. If I wasn't afraid of getting my younger siblings in trouble, I would have gone after Lin Baozhu a long time ago. After that, he looked at me a little irritably. After all this mess, the marriage between Lin Baozhu and the second prince is still on. What are you planning to do next? The candle flame flickered in the dark. I looked into Qiuyu's eyes and said calmly, "Wait for the right moment to deliver the fatal blow to Lin Baozhu." After the Yue Qing incident, Lin Baozhu behaved herself for a few days, until Princess Ning'an sent over the restored phoenix coronet. Then she got arrogant again. She excitedly sent invitations to a few of her close female friends, asking them to come to the mansion to see her dowry. Looking at the noble girls' faces, showing either envy or jealousy, Lin Baozhu finally felt a little better. But the next day, things got messy in the imperial court. The censors kept impeaching Grand Tutor Lin for failing to teach his daughter well, and Lin Subai for embezzling his wife's dowry. The current emperor is very protective of his own. When he heard his cousin's dowry had been taken away, he flew into a rage immediately. He demoted Lin Subai from the 6th rank inner cabinet attendant to the 7th rank Hanlin Academy reviewer. Lin Subai thought Princess Ning'an was behind this, so he gave her the cold shoulder for days after he got home, until the Grand Princess personally spoke for him and asked the emperor to restore his official position. Only then did he warm up to the princess a little. But because of this, Princess Ning'an hated Lin Baozhu even more. A few days later, she told Lin Subai about how Lin Baozhu had invited people over to see her phoenix coronet. Only then did Lin Subai realize he had wronged his wife, so he was naturally a little angry at Lin Baozhu. During dinner, Lin Baozhu was mocking Princess Ning'an as usual, saying she hasn't gotten pregnant after years of marrying into the Lin family. But Lin Subai, who always spoiled her, suddenly lost his temper and snapped angrily. "You're an unmarried young lady. Why are you always obsessing over your brother and sister-in-law's private affairs? How disgraceful is that? Being yelled at like that." Lin Baozhu burst into tears immediately. Too bad. Grand Tutor Lin wanted to teach her a lesson because of the impeachment. Lin Zhaoye was still grieving over Yue Qing's death. He hadn't even looked at Lin Baozhu properly for days. Lin Baozhu, who had always been doted on by everyone, couldn't stand this kind of atmosphere at all. Smashed the bowls and dishes hard, cried and ran back to her room, waiting for everyone to come apologize to her. Too bad no apology came at all. She got a totally unexpected news instead. Lin Shuyu, the second miss of the Lin family who had been missing for years, was found. In her previous life, when Lin Shuyu was found, Lin Baozhu had already married the second prince. The whole Lin family wanted to cover this up for her. Only said Lin Shuyu was a cousin's daughter coming to seek refuge. Even so, Lin Baozhu was still not satisfied at all. She always thought Lin Shuyu stole the love that belonged to her. She instigated the Lin family to marry her off to a playboy. That playboy drank, gambled, and visited brothels. He did all kinds of bad things. At first, he still cared about the Lin family's reputation. He didn't dare to treat Lin Shuyu badly. But as time went by, he found the Lin family didn't care about this cousin miss at all. Xingshu started to act recklessly. He often beat Lin Shuyu when he was drunk. Once he lost control when beating her. He accidentally beat her to death. But things are totally different now. All the men in the Lin family are a little dissatisfied with Lin Baozhu. When they suddenly saw Lin Shuyu, who had been missing for years, their timid, well-behaved biological daughter and sister, they all felt great pity for her. They immediately decided to hold a grand welcome banquet for her. When Lin Baozhu heard the news, the invitations had already been sent all over the capital. She slumped on the embroidery stool and mumbled, "How is that possible? How could she come back?" Qiyu and I exchanged a look. We persuaded her with the lines we planned earlier. "Don't panic, miss. Even if the second miss comes back, Master and the young masters won't neglect you. You're destined to marry the second prince and be his princess consort. The Lin family still has to rely on you." After hearing this, Lin Baozhu calmed down a little bit. Right, I have the second prince on my side. Lin Shuyu can never surpass me. Right at this moment, Qiyu hesitated and spoke haltingly. "But miss, what if Master gives your marriage to the second miss instead? What will we do? After all, the second miss is his biological daughter." Shut up. The thing Lin Baozhu hates to hear the most in her life is that she is not the biological daughter of the Lin family. Her birth mother was the concubine sister of Madame Lin, who had an affair with Wu Mei, a scholar, studying at the Lin residence, then gave birth to her. After her birth mother passed away, she was adopted by Madame Lin. No one was allowed to mention her birth ever since. Lin Baozhu slapped Qiyu hard in the face. She stared at her like she was looking at a dead person. "Get out if you dare to talk nonsense again. I'll cut your tongue out." I took the chance to speak to Miss. "Qiyu has a big mouth and can't keep secrets. Why don't we find an excuse to kick her out, so she won't gossip in front of the second prince later?" Lin Baozhu thought for a moment. She finally agreed to my suggestion. I went to find Princess Ning'an. Through her help, I safely sent Qiyu out of the capital. Now the only person serving Lin Baozhu closely is me, her personal maid. She actually took Qiyu's words to heart. Worried the Lin family would swap her marriage with the second prince to Lin Shuyu instead. I looked at her, unable to sleep at night. I pretended to think for her and suggested, "Miss, why don't we write to ask the third young master to come back? The third young master loves you the most. He will definitely stand by your side." In the original novel, third young master Lin Xuanqing was Lin Baozhu's #1 loyal servant of this beloved female lead. For Lin Baozhu, he gave up the Jianghu life he had loved since childhood. He willingly entered the palace to be an imperial physician. To block all open and hidden attacks in the palace for Lin Baozhu was a little impatient. Third brother only knows how to treat illnesses. "I'm not sick. What's the point of asking him to come back?" I leaned close to her ear, whispered to her in a low voice. Lin Baoju's eyes got brighter and brighter. She finally couldn't wait to write a letter to Lin Xuanqing. Soon it was time for Lin Shuyu's welcome banquet. Many nobles and high officials in the capital came to the banquet. Even the second prince came to the Lin residence in person. Lin Baoju dressed up gorgeously, pretended to be a very nice elder sister, held Lin Shuyu's hand to introduce people around. I have to say, the Lin family's genes are really excellent. Although Lin Shuyu had lived in the countryside and was raised by a peasant family, she still had skin as white as snow and eyes as clear as water. After she put on the custom-made gold thread Suzhou embroidery palace dress Princess Ningun made for her, she looked even more fairy-like. Even the second prince couldn't help glancing at her a few more times. Just then, a passing maid accidentally spilled tea all over Lin Shuyu's clothes. Seeing Lin Shuyu follow the maid back to her room to change clothes, Lin Baoju finally smiled with relief. After about 5 minutes, Princess Ningun suddenly asked, "Where is the second young lady? Why is she taking so long to change clothes?" She then told her personal maid to go check on her. Lin Baoju was afraid she'd ruin her plan. She quickly stopped her. "My sister just came back to the capital. She probably doesn't know how to put on those complicated fancy clothes. That's why she's taking longer. If you're worried, sister-in-law, I can go check on her myself." Another 10 minutes or so passed. Neither Lin Baoju nor Lin Shuyu came back. Not only Princess Ningun, even the visiting madams felt something was off and suggested going to look for them. Princess Ningun nodded. "The pear blossoms in the garden are in full bloom right now. Those two girls probably got distracted by the flowers and forgot the time. Since all of you want to go look, we might as well go together. Enjoying flowers and drinking tea is a nice pastime anyway." Everyone left the flower hall, walked around Moon Lake towards the back garden. When they just reached the corridor, they saw Lin Shuyu's personal maid standing next to the rockery, sneakily glancing over at them. Madame of the Liang Marquis was born into a military family, and she's Grand Tutor Lin's older cousin. When she saw this, she shouted loudly, "Who's there? What are you sneaking around for?" She wouldn't have run if she didn't yell. But the maid turned around and tried to run right away. She was immediately caught by Madame Liang Marquise's maid. "Noble people are asking you questions. Why are you running?" The maid knelt on the ground, saw so many people around her, and kowtowed nonstop in fear. "The second young lady told me to do this. I was just following orders. Please spare me, madam." At the same time, moans of a man and a woman suddenly came from behind the rockery. All these madams have lived in the inner court for years. They knew exactly what that sound was. Their faces changed immediately. I saw that the timing was just right. Walked out with Lin Shuyu and said, "Princess, we found the second young lady." Everyone present looked at each other, glancing back and forth. No one knew what was going on. The maid that was just caught looked even paler, staring at Lin Shuyu in terror. "Second young lady, why are you here?" Madame Liang Marquis saw this and immediately figured out what was going on. She walked forward first, wanting to see who was pulling this trick. Everyone else followed right behind her. None of them wanted to miss this juicy secret. Deep inside the rockery, 2 naked bodies were tangled together. The woman was, of course, Lin Baoju, and the man was actually Lin Xuanqing, the third young master of the Lin family who had been traveling for ages and hadn't come home. Seeing more and more people gathering around, Princess Ningun immediately told her maid to bring cold water. A basin of cold water was poured over their heads, and the two finally woke up. When Lin Baoju came to her senses, she screamed so loud it could split the sky. She saw Lin Shuyu standing aside, fully dressed, perfectly fine and unharmed. The venom in her eyes was obvious as she cried and said, "Sister, why are you framing me? You drugged me? We are both daughters of the Lin family. How could you do this? Do you have any respect for the Lin family's reputation?" Her plan had failed, so now she was trying to put the blame on Lin Shuyu. Lin Shuyu looked completely innocent. "Sister, I have no idea what you're talking about. I just came back to the manor not long ago. I still don't even know my way around here. How could I possibly have the ability to frame you? If you really like third brother, you can just tell father directly. Why do you have to sneak around like this?" Lin Xuanqing had also woken up by now. staring at Lin Shuyu angrily. You still won't admit it. Who else in this whole manor would target Baozhu except you? Lin Shuyu still had that naive, innocent look on her face. Even if I did drug you, aren't you a disciple of the divine Dr. Valley? Unless you did it on purpose. There's no way you'd fall for such a low-level drug, right? Lin Xuanqing was immediately speechless, his face turning pale, then green over and over. He couldn't exactly say that he made this drug to help Lin Baozhu frame her. A drug called Love Silk Entanglement, right? It's colorless and tasteless. Once you're drugged with it, only having sex can reverse the effect. Enough. A sudden angry shout broke the awkward silence on the scene. Grand Tutor Lin had a furious look on his face and cupped his hands towards everyone present. Everyone. Lin Baozhu is the daughter of my 7th younger sister. Her mother passed away when she was little, so she was adopted by the Lin family. She and Xuanqing are not biological siblings from the same mother. The two of them are truly in love with each other. We originally planned to hold their wedding right after Xuanqing comes back, but we didn't expect the young couple couldn't hold back their feelings for a moment and made such a terrible mistake. I'm sorry for making a fool of our family in front of you all. Everyone present knew that the Lin family meant to cover up this whole incident. They all hung their heads and said nothing, then turned their eyes to the second prince standing nearby. The second prince was way calmer than Grand Tutor Lin. Anyway, when he sent the betrothal gifts, earlier he only said he would marry a girl from the Lin family. He never specified which Miss Lin he was going to wed. Besides, judging from the current situation, I'm afraid the only young lady left in the Lin family will be Lin Shuyu from now on. To wrap this matter up as soon as possible, Grand Tutor Lin arranged a wedding for Lin Baozhu and Lin Xuanqing the very next day. This saved the Lin family from losing too much face. After getting married, Lin Baozhu never got over the second prince. She also thought that Lin Xuanqing had turned the situation to his advantage to ruin her innocence that day. So she beat and scolded him every single day, even though Lin Xuanqing liked Lin Baozhu. He couldn't stand his dignity as a man being provoked all the time. He put up with it for 2 months, then said he wanted to travel outside, and fled the Lin residence. Since then, Lin Baozhu's life in the manor got harder and harder. Not only did she have to act according to the will of Princess Ning'an and Lin Shuyu every day, she was also often punished to kneel by Lin Zhaoye, saying she had to apologize to Yue Qing. 3 months later, Lin Shuyu and the second prince held their grand wedding, watching the position of the princess consort that she had longed for being snatched away. Lin Baozhu finally broke down completely. She tried to die together with Lin Shuyu, but was caught by the hidden guards sent by the second prince. She was sentenced to exile on the charge of assassinating a royal member. On the day Lin Baozhu was escorted to Lingnan, I carried a small bundle on my back and brushed past her. At the ferry leading to Jiangnan, Qiuyu had already been waiting for a long time with my younger siblings. She looked at me with confusion. You put so much effort into taking down Lin Baozhu, and now you're just leaving like this, without taking anything. I looked at her with a grin. Of course I'm taking something. Who said I'm taking nothing? What did you take then? How come I didn't see it? I closed my eyes, feeling the river wind blowing right against my face. My voice was very, very soft. Freedom. There's a boundless ocean in my eyes. I'm a free soul roaming in the mortal world. There will be no more spring letters from Chang'an ever since.